My name is Owen Riddick. I am the major concert coordinator at Western Washington University, and I have been for this whole pandemic. So it has been quite a journey trying to convert this job onto an online job. Trying to make major concerts online is quite a hurdle. But
Yes, it's super hard. Trust me, I know. Um, well, that's a really cool thing you're doing. Has it been pretty successful or?
it's been all right. I've been making this podcast, which I've been enjoying a lot. It's definitely like the biggest part of what I've been doing right now, but I'm trying to set up some virtual concerts for the future, and then hopefully launch stock, try and get that in person, but I don't really know if that's gonna be a possible thing.
One
So,
day.
so what
Cool.
about you?
Well,
What's your, introduce yourself.
yeah, of course. So my name is Zosha Sherwood, and I am the director and creator of Sherwood Music Festival. Um, Sherwood Music Festival is an event based around wanting to give back to the community during the hardships of the pandemic, through through the creatives in Bellingham. So um, we really wanted to find a way to build up both musicians, performers, and local artists who have all had to transition online, and see how we can create an engaging place for them, to actually be with one another and learn from one another again. And all of everything goes back to DV SAS, which is a great way to give back to the community. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing the past 2 quarters at Western.
That's awesome. So are you a Fairhaven student then? Is this like, or are you just doing this like as a side project to your major?
It's a side project in my minor. So I'm a Western student, not a Fairhaven student. And my minor is entrepreneurship and innovation. It's a really awesome program, and when you're in your fourth quarter, you get to do your own business. And so I decided I wanted to throw this event, and yeah, it's really awesome. I have a lot of support, which is good. So
Yeah, that is awesome. That's super cool. What made you want to start a music festival?
it's an awesome question. Before the pandemic, actually, I had been going to festivals and concerts since I was 16, and then the pandemic hit when I was 19. So I was just like in shock. Like, what am I supposed to do? Where's my, engagement with the creative world? And then I started talking to my roommates about it, and I have 6 roommates. So, that's a lot of people. And they were like, "Man, I miss music too." And I was like, "Oh, so it's not just me? Like other people miss this?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then so 2 of my roommates sell their art online, and they were like, "Man, I just want to talk to people who like what I do, and like I want to actually be face to face with them." And I was like, "Huh, this is really interesting. I wonder if a lot of people feel this way." And then it turned out that a lot of people did feel this way. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a music festival, and I'm gonna try and see if I can do it during a pandemic. So that was kind of what happened.
That's awesome. It's super cool that you're taking it on in the pandemic. I think that's something that a good chunk of people are afraid to do. I feel like people are kind of waiting around in their shells, waiting for something to pass. And I think it's awesome that you're just taking it head on and going after it.
I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard. A lot of days I feel very overwhelmed by it, but I've got a good set of members of my team, so they're very helpful and like very good at helping calm me down when I'm worried about something, and it's a lot of teamwork. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some pretty big hurdles as far as like trying to make sure that all the festival goers are safe with each other. And like with my own job, like that's something that I've been trying to think about for lawn stock, is like, how can I get people all together but not really be together close enough that they're like face to face breathing in each other's mouths. I don't want people to do that. So I was just trying to think of like all these different ways, like, oh, we could like kind of like block off sections to have like bubbles or households. What do you think you're gonna do? I'm curious because I have
Yeah.
I'm still kind of lost on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Um, it was definitely the first challenge of figuring out how to do it. You know, how do we make this event COVID safe? And we came up with this term pods. So if you come to the festival in person, because we have online and in person, but if you choose to come in person, um, you can come with up to 4 people. So 4 people pods, and they have to be from your household, and you have to wear masks the whole time. And they're separated by 5 foot sidewalks, spaces between the pods. So that way you're in your own bubble, you're experiencing the music, and you're with your friends. And the other component of that's really important for our event is that everyone has to be COVID tested within a week before the event and has to show proof of a negative COVID test. Um, and like, if you're not comfortable doing that, then we just can't allow you to come to the event.
Yeah.
But that's just something we had to say in our COVID-19 contract, that we have people who are coming in person to sign, as well as like regulations on like, you have to listen to our rules and like masks the whole time, and like please practice social distancing. And that's pretty much our plan for like seating and like how to keep everyone separated. The biggest problem is bathrooms. Like, how do you let people go to the bathroom and it not like infect everybody? And that was like something we've been like, oh God, how do we deal with that? And so we're just thinking like, every time someone uses a bathroom, we have a specific set of volunteers that clean the bathroom after each round, and like to keep it really safe. And it's going to take a long time, but it's worth it to make sure everyone is safe.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest challenge in my mind when I was thinking about it. It's like, how are we gonna? Who wants to do that? I don't. I'm
Right?
sure
It's a
someone
hard
will
one.
find like you'll find somebody and somebody will want to do it and they'll be like the savior of the festival.
Yeah,
But it's
hell, I'll
also
even do
definitely
it.
something
I
that
don't
I've thought
mind.
about. I've
Yeah.
also thought about just putting everyone in one of those big plastic balls and just walk around
Not
and
gonna lie,
bounce
I
off
looked
each
into
other.
it. I definitely looked into it. Yeah. We had lots of ideas, but this one seemed like the safest.
Yeah, I think that's the most reasonable way to go about it. And I like the idea of the pods. I think that's something that's going to have to be kind of normalized if we want to get back on the horse with festivals and concerts sooner rather than later.
Yeah. This is a really like, I wanted to take advantage of this time too, because I feel like there's so much creativity that can happen when trying to figure out how to solve the problem of gatherings during the pandemic. And I was like, I want to figure out like what cool solutions there are to that. So that was another reason I really wanted to do this.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's awesome that like you're not just making it like strictly about music, but you also like are using artists and stuff. Or like having art, not using artists, but having artists collaborate with you on this. I think it's awesome. I definitely like um, if I had it my way and I was doing lawn stock, and I had full control, no COVID, I would try and just make it more of like a like less just a music thing and more like we can have artists there too selling their work, and we can have like a dance stage too and have performance arts and all sorts of stuff, so that it's more of like, so like your avid music listener isn't the only person that's there. It's also like someone who's maybe more interested in art but less interested in music, or more interested in dance. And um that being said, I think, what do you think, like do you think that that's kind of where the future of music festivals is going, just kind of like a collaborative space for all artists, or do you think that it'll stay pretty strict to music?
I think that I've seen lots of scenarios, different festivals, I mean, that have been engaging with other forms of art and, working with other forms of creatives. Um, I think Banff Bellingham Arts and Music Festival is a really good example of what I hope festivals look like. Um, they had poetry, they had music, they had art, they had, you know, dancers that usually would be at raves with their poi, they had all sorts of really cool stuff. And honestly, I base a lot of my ideas off of how brilliant I thought Banff was. And so, yeah, I do think that it would be a really awesome like transition to including more creatives if festivals did that. Um, for example, like we have fire performers who are going to be at our festival doing really cool stuff and working together, and like they didn't know each other beforehand, and now I brought them together and they're working together to create a really cool show, so it's going to be awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Connecting fire performers one day at a time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I hope future festivals have art. That's like my favorite part, is going and buying like really awesome stuff from.
Yeah, I've even been to music festivals where in the morning they have artists come on and play super chill music, and there's a yoga set, and they have someone come up and lead a yoga class for like hundreds of people, and it was awesome. It was amazing.
See, it's definitely a niche, but it's definitely awesome. I remember one of my favorite festivals I went to was called Imagine, out on Orcas Island, I believe. And there was just this woman who put out a bunch of her art and then said like, swap this for something that is like important to you. And she wound up with really cool art that wasn't hers, and like food sometimes, and like I just loved that. And that was also something, if I could have a festival in person and not worry about COVID, I would do that. Like, let's do a swap meet. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I definitely love the idea of like something more open like that, that's not so financially restricted with just like everything costing a ton of money. Because I've also been to festivals, where it kind of feels like once they get you in the door, they're just trying to get like just extract as much money as possible as they can out of you before you exit the festival.
This is super true. Yeah. I think that some festivals are more focused on like human well-being, and like I think the example that I said and then my own, like we're really focused on making sure like mental health is good, like social engagement's really important. Music actually like helps you grow your well-being to more healthy and positive states. And so it's like really sad that we're missing it right now, and no wonder a lot of us are feeling like sad and overwhelmed all the time. We don't have all of these things that we used to have that made us feel really good. And I don't know, I just think artists miss that too,
Yeah.
being able to exchange information with other artists or share ideas, like that's all gone. And online is harder.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a bigger, it's harder to bridge the gap online, you
Yeah.
know, because it's like sometimes it's easier to, like, when you see something that you like in person and you walk up to the person that made it, it's easier to talk to them about that than it is to, oh, I'm looking at my phone here and I'm gonna hit this person up about their art. It's like, I don't know, it just feels less, it feels more calculated and less natural to do it online. And that being said, I think that people have people have evolved and in this pandemic and changed into like more willing to do that kind of stuff just out of necessity. But at the same time, it's not really a real replacement for being in those festivals or like being in those places where you can meet other artists, you know?
Yeah, because when you're there and you get a person who like comes up to you and goes, "Oh my God, you made this?" And you go, you feel that, like you feel, "Oh my God, I made that." And then they're like, "I want to spend money, like my money or like my energy just talking to you and like keeping this because I love it so much." And like I think that is so important for artists and musicians because I was talking to a lot of musicians when I was interviewing them for the festival, and they were like, "Man, it's just not the same to perform live stream because you can't hear everyone being like, woo, when you do something really cool on your guitar or you sing something that's absolutely phenomenal. You just don't get that response." And that's what I feel like a lot of people are missing. But you're right, we have evolved. We have figured out ways to do it.
Yeah. That being said, I don't think those ways are better. I just think
Yeah.
it's kind of like a band-aid that we have on right now for the situation that we're in. But I don't think that it's like a, I don't think it's a permanent replacement for it.
I
And
hope not.
yeah, I think it's super, I think it's common among like everyone. It's not just, it's not even just like artists or creatives in general. It's like people are just lacking that, like they want to like like get into a space with a bunch of other people and just feel like everyone's having a good time. And
Yeah.
it doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with music or like or art in general. It's just like people are just craving that human connection that um you know, social distancing and the pandemic kind of prevents. And
Yeah.
I think that the way that you have it set up, I think it's probably like the best, the closest and the best thing that like that we could do right now to combat that, you know?
Yeah. I really hope people see that in our community and decide to come. But in case people are too scared, that's why we have the online. Too scared is a reasonable thing, you know, right now. It's not a bad thing to be scared. But we are doing everything we can to make sure we follow state rules and keep in line. Like, we're constantly checking on our phase status and
Oh yeah.
everything. Yeah. And making sure that everything we do is good and legal and safe for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know. It's just like a collaborative, it's a collaborative push to get back to normal. And it's like I know I've done my part. And I think that if everybody is just on the same boat, then we'll all get there eventually. It's just gotta have a little patience. And
Yes.
so I'm gonna kind of change the topic here because I don't want to talk about coronavirus the whole
Yeah.
time. It's like I'm tired of it anyways, you know?
True. We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else. What you got?
Yeah. So like I mean I heard you mention like a couple festivals. Is there any other like the one on Orcas Island or Banff? Is there any other like what music festivals have inspired you the most?
um, the one that immediately comes to my mind is String Band. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I
It's a
haven't.
local it's a local Bellingham festival that happens out on Mount Baker Highway, right around Nugent's Corner. And I've gone to that festival every year since I moved to Bellingham. So since I was around 15. And that it's just like everything I ever wanted. It's you walk in and it's like everyone, it doesn't care about like looks. They're just like here to be happy and playing music. And it's such a culture. Like everyone is there reuniting with old friends and like seeing people they haven't seen for the whole year since the last festival. And all the bands that play because they're all the same ones that have always played and a couple of new ones. And they have all these really cool tents that play at different times during the day and at night, so you can like always be awake listening to music and engaging and just like singing with people and dancing, and there's great food. That's all I want all the time. So I think string band has just been something that has always inspired me for a community, and like definitely for this festival, like finding awesome ways to make sure everyone finds joy. And that's really important to me, I would say. I don't know about any other ones. That one's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I would love to go check that out. I have lived up here for about 3 years, but I have not spent much time out there, Nugent's Corner.
Yeah.
But it's a cool area. It's kind of like right outside of Bellingham, and it's like you're just on the edge of the mountains and stuff. I don't know. It's beautiful out
Yeah,
there.
you're right between mountains and city. It's really
Yeah.
nice. And yeah, that's also kind of why string band feels so good, is because you barely have cell service. So you're kind of like, all right, I'm here with the people I'm here with.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I've volunteered every year, so I've gone for free every year. And because of that, I've been able to work in the kitchen and like always make friends and like always engage with like pretty much everybody because everybody wants the food. And so that was also a really important thing I wanted to include for our festival, was having volunteers that felt really engaged and incorporated, and like part of what we were doing, they were helping build. And I really hope that we're able to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's the process for that like? Are you just like reaching out to people that you know to volunteer, or is it a broader thing where you're doing like community outreach to try and find people to work at the festival with you?
We're definitely just doing community outreach. One of my team members, her name is Marina. She's been doing all of the volunteer setup. Um, and right now I think we're having between 7 to 10 volunteers because we had to downsize our festival, and the in-person aspect of it due to COVID. But basically we're gonna put out ads for people to come and volunteer, and there's gonna be a couple different positions. And yeah, I just want to make sure that everyone can like feel like they've contributed and feel like we've all done something to make sure that we're helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my goal for volunteers. And like I do want them to be able to put this on their resume if they wanted to. Like, I did this for this really cool thing during a really hard time for the world. And yeah.
I think that's awesome. And it's definitely like, I think there's a ton of people out there who be like, yeah, totally, I'd love to do something like that, just to get the interaction, and just
Mm-hmm.
to get back out there with people that enjoy music and everything. So do you have like a date lockdown for Sherwood Music Festival?
Yeah, June 12th, 2021, 6 p.m.
Okay, I'll put it on my calendar. And where is it taking place?
That's an awesome question. We originally did have a venue, but we had to change it, and see if we could search for a new one. Just some social drama happened, so we had to change. But no need to get into that. But we are thinking we're gonna do it in someone's backyard because we know a couple of people with like really big backyards, and that way it's like feels more homey and like feels more Bellingham. Oh, can I tell you about a part I'm really excited about?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna give everyone gift bags. And these gift bags, this is for everyone who's in Whatcom County who does it online and for everyone who comes in person. I work on a farm, and so there's going to be one organic vegetable per gift bag. I don't know what kind yet. It's going to be really random and awesome. And there's going to be like a little handwritten note from the farm owner. Her name is Savannah Flynn. And then there's also going to be our sticker, which is going to be really cool. And then we're going to go around town and ask local shops if they donate stickers to us. And so we can just put random stickers from town that are like local artists or local bike shops or local restaurants and like put them in the bags. And so everyone just gets like local stuff. That's really cool. And that, oh my gosh, that's like my favorite thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I know like in the past Lawnstock, what Lawnstock has done is like just like give away we have like pink flamingo hats, just like the lawn furniture theme, like
Yeah.
gnomes and hat flamingo hats. And
I love that.
I thought it was awesome. I didn't get a hat because I didn't wait in the line, but it's a huge hit. Everyone loves the hats. And I think that the local vegetable, I love that. I love that
Right?
idea because I would
It's
eat a
just
local
like,
vegetable any day of the week.
yeah, it's like random and fun and like unexpected, but like wonderful. And so I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's so fun, like thinking of little ways to like how you can make things like that more interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really cool. I like that idea.
We've been doing lots of stuff to figure out how to make this thing more interesting. I spent in like 3 hours one day calling all the local restaurants in town and asking for gift cards. So I got uh, it's been really hard in the local community, so not many could donate, but Boomers donated a bunch of them, and so we've been doing raffles for free Boomer burgers and stuff, and like having a good time with figuring out how to make local businesses engaged as well. It's been fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so do you think like, I mean, this is kind of like a different type of question, but so I know like um a lot of music festivals like very much take like a non-political stance in general. Just don't say anything political. Do you like what do you think about that statement? Do you agree with that, or do you think that like artists should be able to like just say whatever on stage and just represent how like their beliefs?
I think
It's kind of a hard
that's a
question.
hard question. That's definitely a hard question. I think that as long as they don't say anything that harms anyone else, like nothing that discriminates, nothing that outwardly shows hate or disrespect,
Yeah.
then they are allowed to share their political opinion no matter which way they swing.
Mhm.
Because in our in our contract actually for buying tickets we have a section that says like no discrimination is allowed, like race, gender, age, nothing like that is allowed. um and so as long as they didn't discriminate, I think that you're allowed to share your political opinions.
Yeah.
um
I totally agree with that. And I think that it's important to make that just to establish that in like you were saying, like in the contract with the tickets, or just right off the bat, like this is a hate-free environment. We don't want to have people here who are gonna cause problems with other people because of their beliefs.
yeah.
Um I definitely agree with I totally agree with you on that. And I think it gets a little complicated. Like I mean, me and you, like Lawnstock or Sherwood Music Festival. we don't have like a multinational act, like thousands of people coming. Like it's not like we have uh like investors that are like, you need to make money, like, it's like we have the space to make those spaces. But I think that when festivals become a little bit bigger, and it's like with companies like Live Nation, or like it becomes more about the coin than it does about the about like making that stance, because they just want to get people in the door, get people to buy the tickets. And while I understand that from a business perspective, it's also kind of like, I think, really to make a better um, or just like more inclusive space for everyone, it does make sense to have disclaimers like that, and to have um, just like this is a hate-free zone. We don't want anybody discriminating against anybody based on anything. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it gets a little complicated with the big festivals, but I'm happy I don't run like Paradiso or something. That'd be terrible.
Yeah, no, me too. It's already hard enough to run something this small. I can't imagine running something like that and dealing with people's opinions about things like that are so sometimes aggressive. Um, I think another reason it's really important to make sure that you create like safe spaces like this is because I don't want someone to leave the event and then feel less happy or less taken care of, you know? I want them to leave and feel like joyful and like energy has been put in them, you know?
Yeah,
And
totally.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely going to happen with your music festival. I think that the way that you have it set up, just like the small community um, aspect of it, and just keeping things tight with like from everything from the gift bags to the bands that you're bringing on to the venue, I think that it's going to feel really comfortable for people. I think it's going to make people really happy.
Oh, thank you. I think so too. At least I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like with things like starting a music festival, or going on any big venture that you don't really know if it's gonna work out or not. It's like it can be hard. Like, I know with my job, like I can feel imposterish sometimes. Like, I feel like, what am I doing this? Like, I don't know. I've never, like, when I first booked a band or something like that, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. I've never done this before. And then like eventually you get the hang of it, or you see the final product, or you see like all your work comes into fruition, and it just makes it so worth it. And
That is the most accurate thing I've ever heard. Like, it's so hard. This is not an easy thing to do. And but the end is so worth it. Like, and every person I talk to who's excited about it, it makes it worth it. And like, I don't mind that I stay up till 1 a.m. sometimes trying to figure certain parts of it out because then in the end it's like, wow, that was a really cool thing that we just figured out how to do. Like the pre-party we did last weekend, like that was something that was really hard to figure out, but we did it, and then it was a really fun hour of our day. So it's just like, you're right. You're totally right.
yeah. And yeah, I definitely like, I I respect the leap of faith into doing something like this.
Thank you.
It's not easy to take the first steps, let alone like doing the whole thing. And it definitely seems like you're as dedicated as you can be to it. Yeah, I admire you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting too because once you I think I had like a realization that yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but neither did the first person who threw a music festival. So I can figure it out if they did, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, let me try and think of some more questions. I'm a little bit um I'm a little bit dry on my questions just because I wasn't sure how to like steer it in a direction where we weren't talking about COVID the whole time. I didn't want to talk about COVID
Yeah.
the whole time.
I'm glad that you didn't because neither did I. So that's good. Yeah.
So how long is this something that you've always wanted to do, or is this just something that you like, was it your major or your minor that made you realize that this is what you wanted to do?
Um, I actually, after my third quarter in entrepreneurship, vowed to never do an event because the first event I ever did was called Creators Collide with my class, and it was just the hardest thing I've ever done. And then I'm doing an event anyways because I figured out that it was something I really love when I'm the one who gets to figure out where everything goes and like I get to pick my team members. It was a lot harder when it was just like everything was shoved at you, but this time I got to create it and build it and use my creative outlets through this. And it's been really fun because I realized one of my passions is figuring out how to help other people like build up their skills. And so like our Instagram posts are all done by our designer named Luke Shelley, and like he has created such cool stuff and like got to practice, and it's just like been really fun to do that kind of stuff. And like that's when I realized this is what I want to do because it helps so many people, not just myself. So
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's something that you don't even really realize when, like, when you're setting out to do it initially, that you're going to be that this is going to be something that helps other people grow their own skills too. I mean, that's something I didn't even really think about with like lawn stock and stuff, or with like virtual concerts, which are not as fun, but
No.
it's like it's still somewhat enjoyable. I don't know.
Yeah.
um yeah, that's a super good point.
It's been crazy the amount of leadership skills I've learned as well. You know, sometimes I wake up and go, man, this is really hard. But I also am like, well, I would never have learned what I've learned if I had not done this. Like figuring out how to coordinate a team is so much harder than I thought it would be. And like learning how to support other people while you're like totally overwhelmed is such a hard skill to figure out how to do. And I'll admit, I was really bad at it for the first like 2 months of starting this venture. And then I just like had to do research and read a couple of books and be like, okay, so that's what I need to do and that's how I should talk to people. And so it's definitely made me a better leader, which is awesome as well.
That is awesome. And it's like it's great to hear that, because I know how hard it can be to like be in a role where you have people looking to you to tell them what to do, and taking that on and learning something from it it's a hard thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
um Leading people, it's easy to like sit on top of the tower and just be like, you do this, but it's a whole nother thing. It sounds like you're more hands-on than that, and you really are involved with everybody that you're working with, and um that's what a good leader is. So I think that's awesome. And it's like, who else is going to do this? There's no one. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't do it.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't quit. I'm in this, like I'm doing it, and it's gonna get done. Obviously, I have the passion and power to make it happen. It's just like hard. But, I think that the ability to have a team is like the most important thing I've ever figured out how to do. Like, "Hey, I can't do this right now. Can you figure out how to do this one?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, actually, that's like my skill set." And I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." Like, social media is not my skill set. So I give it to Ava, our co-director, and I'm like, "Can you do the story for today?" And she's like, "Yeah, I got it." And she does a great job. And I'm
Yeah.
like always blown away. And it's awesome.
Yeah. I feel the same about my coworkers. It's like I am terrible with social media. I am terrible. But
Yeah.
like I have coworkers who are amazing at it.
Yeah.
Like and it's awesome to have teammates that you can depend on and develop that relationship with your teammates where it's like, hey, I'm just overwhelmed right now. I can't do this. What am I
Mhm.
doing? And just
Mhm.
take it away, teammate.
Yep. It feels so good to have people like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
well, I am like pretty much out of questions for you. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you though, and I really I'm looking forward to the Sherwood Music Festival. I will definitely keep my eye out, and I will tell as many people as I can because it sounds like the most amazing thing.
Thank you, Owen. I had a great time talking to you too, and I'm glad that you're excited and you think it's a cool idea. Um, I appreciate it. I appreciate this call as well. I think it's been fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I appreciate it too. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, sorry, that was me.
It's like
um,
sounds like it's time.
um, so do you want to like say all the details of your festival one more time before we end the call, and just to
Sure.
put it out in the world one more time?
All right, hello world. Sherwood Music Festival is an event meant to help you engage with your local creatives, such as musicians, performers, and artists. And it's going to happen on June 12th, 2021 at 6 p.m. It's going to be a great time. And all proceeds go to DV SAS. So you're giving back to the community and help building everyone up. It's awesome.
Awesome.
Great.
Okay, well, thank you for meeting with me.
Of course, Owen. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.